what I want to see is, I think we talked about confusion or panic, where he like goes the wrong way and stuff like that. So we can work through it on the leash first.
Yeah.
You know. Um, so more environments, different environments, calling away from different things. Were you always tapping when you called them?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So making sure we're always tapping. I do that for at least, I mean, me, because I do this, I progress very quickly because I use a lot of remote than standard or average dog owner would. But I would give it at least a month of every time we call them, Starfox come, boom, 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 every single time, so that we get in his head, and then we're trying to make mistakes happen so we can proof all that stuff, so that when he's fully off leash and you're out there with him, whatever, we're not too worried about that stuff. But good. Anything else?
Oh yeah, the light thing. It's like we accidentally got people who like chase after shadows and lights.
Oh.
And reflections.
Oh yeah, like sense.
Sure.
Yeah. And we want to discourage them, but
They're just rapid when it's like fixated and chasing, like especially like when our phones or like devices kind of like catch the sunlight and then it just casts a glare like
Within the home?
Yeah.
I gotcha. And you'll like chase it or something?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then you'll like bark because you can't catch it and you're frustrated.
Sure. Okay. I can send you some videos so that you can correct that. You don't need the collar for it. You can just use what we call a bunker. A bunker is just a rolled up towel, and you put like rubber bands on it. Whack them with it.
Okay.
Because it's a firm but soft surface. But I have 3 videos that I send people, and the trainer that uses it, he puts in quite a bit of correctional force behind it. Most people do it like a little tap or something, but it doesn't mean anything. And the intention of having a firm correction is so that you don't have to keep doing it. I want to correct it, and then like maybe 6 months goes by before I have to correct it again. Because people also expect that when you correct the behavior, that it's gone forever. But that doesn't even happen with humans, and we know better, right? So when you do a nice solid correction, it should be time before you see that behavior again. Like to this day, I still correct my dogs, but it's like very, very rare. But they're very easily corrected. And I was like, I just use Milan jab like that, and they'll stop, and then they'll go and lay down or whatever. So, because he's like a kid up here, 3 to 4 years old, forever. The 3 to 4 year old, like you gotta tell him what to do. You're constantly like, stopping them from like doing the wrong thing and stuff like that. Same thing for dogs, but it gets easier because he will learn, and it'll become less and less. Okay. Anything else? All right, cool. So we'll go. So this command here, the place command, is for stationary control. So that like, if you go to a patio or something, you can send Starfox, and it doesn't have to be something like this. It could be a towel, it can be a blanket, it could be a dog bed. It just has to have a perimeter. Okay, so you can't say place, and because there's nothing there's no edge to it. But with this, there's a nice clear parameter. So like, dog beds, ottomans. I had a person use an area rug. I don't know if he was shaking because he's cold or because he sees something. He might be a little cold. Yeah. It's a very clear line between, you go here, and the command is simple. I don't care if he sits, stands, or lays down. I just don't want him to step off of it. Okay? So like you go to a restaurant with him, you bring like a towel or a mat, just pop it down, place, he goes there, and it's easier for you to fix, because if you tell Starfox to lay down, he has to do this. It's very strict, right? So that takes more work. Whereas this is just go here, I don't care what you do, just don't get off of it. Okay? Who's gonna work with him first? Okay, you'll take the remote as well. And what's your number currently? 33. Let's go ahead and go down to 18. So whenever we teach anything new, we always go down lower. And you're gonna bring Starfox over, and you're gonna stand about like 2 to 3 feet away from it, okay? And what you're gonna do is we're not gonna use any words first. You're gonna start tapping, okay? When I tell you to tap. And then you're gonna use the leash tension to pull towards the bed to guide Starfox to you, okay? Now as you're tapping, you might find him like go buck back and like go back like that. And then you'll have to put a little bit more of a pull. Typically after they go on the first like 2 to 3 times, it gets easier. But because it's completely like foreign to him, you might see that apprehension, okay? We don't say anything, I just simply pull towards the placemat, tapping on the collar until he pops on himself, okay? So go ahead, and I'm going to shorten your leash a little bit. And then go ahead and get ready, you're going to tap. 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 So let's go ahead and bump it. Let's go to 22. Tap. 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 25. Tap. 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 28. Tap. 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 31. Tap. Tap. 35. What were you at earlier? 33?
Yeah.
Tap. 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 No, it's on. I can see the light blinking. Tap. 38. Oh, this is good for you, so you learn how to get connection. Tap. There we go. Okay. Go ahead and go down. Let's try 36. Tap. There we go. 30. Tap. Tap. All right, back to 36. It's weird. So now you're gonna tap and you're gonna start pulling towards the bed, okay? So tap, tap, and then a little bit more leash pressure. Tap, 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 right there, and then praise. Good boy. So the moment that Starfox goes on the bed, everything stops. Okay? You're gonna go to say break.
Say, okay.
Okay, yeah, okay. And release, and then you're gonna back away, bring Starfox with you. Good, and we're gonna repeat that a few more times, okay? Now when you bring Starfox over, you might find he's gonna jump on his own. Don't let him. Okay, pull back, wait a moment, because we wanna make sure he's doing it because of the remote. Okay, and then you'll wait, start tapping, and then pull. Okay, go ahead. Tap, tap, there he goes, attaboy. And then, okay.
Okay.
And then back away, bring Starfox. Good, we're gonna try it 3 more times. Tap, 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 a little bit more leash pressure. There you go, good, and praise.
Good.
Good. And okay.
Okay.
Good, we're gonna do 3 more. Tap, tap. There you go. Good. Now here, because he was trying to go forward, right? As long as you started tapping, that's okay. What I don't want, let's say you're not tapping, and you just like bring Starfox here, is before tapping, do my move. So if he does it before the tap, you want to stop him.
Right.
If he's doing it after tap, that's okay. Because you want him to learn that when he feels this, it means to go there. Okay? Try it again.
Okay.
Right, forward, there he goes, right there. So you see I was gonna go forward? Let him go forward, tap, tap, pull forward, tap, there he goes, like that, yeah. Because you want him to go forward here, to go to the bed, okay? So do that again, and let's try, because you're walking from here, like this, try just from here, and get him to go like that, okay? But you're gonna stand still. So you're gonna be here, you're gonna tap, and then get from us to go, okay? And then come back, stop about, 3 feet away, and then repeat, okay? Starfox. So come closer. Yep. A little bit more. There. Okay, now you're gonna start tapping and pulling forward. Right there. Okay, pull forward. So you're pulling up. You're pulling up and you wanna pull straight like that. Exactly. Okay, tap. Tap, back to the bed. There you go. Good. Praise, good boy. And, okay, release. Good. Bring him with you. Yep, there he goes. Attaboy. Yeah, that's good distance. So then tap and then pull forward. There you go. Like that. Like that. Perfect. Tap. There you go. Now wait a moment. Relax. Good. Now praise. Good. Because, so here, he went on it, but then he like overshot. So then you tap him to go, no, that's too much, to bring him back on again, okay? 4 more.
Okay.
Right there. Tap. There you go. Wait a moment. Now praise. Attaboy. Good. 2 more.
Okay.
All right, come a little closer. Right there. Right. Now relax. Good. Now you're going to stand still. Okay, so don't move your feet. Just forward, tap for him to go. Right, like that. Now let your leash go. Tap. Now pull towards the bed. Tap. Like that. And then relax. Good. There we go. Better. We're going to try one more. So as soon as he goes, you can let the right hand, let the leash go. And if he overshoots, you just pull back and tap to bring him to pop him back on again. Yep. Forward. There he goes. Now relax. Tap. Now use your leash pressure. Tap. Yep. Pull forward. Pull forward. Come a little bit close. There you go. Now relax. Good. And praise. Yeah. He's just throwing a tantrum. You're at 36?
Yeah.
Let's go down to 30 again. So if he starts to throw a spiel like that, right? As long as he's with him, and as long as he's muzzled, you work him through it, okay? Because if he starts throwing a tantrum and then you stop, he learns if I throw this tantrum, I get my way, okay? So I just continue with the process. As soon as he does what I want, good job. So then he goes, oh, okay, well, if I just do it, life's a lot easier, okay? Now, I'm lowering it because just in case if it's too much pressure, but earlier there was no contact, right? So I was just trying to figure out what that little issue was. But other than that, regardless of why he's throwing a tantrum, I always make the dog complete the behavior, okay? Questions so far? Okay, so what we're gonna do is the same exercise, but I'm gonna have you start doing it from different positions, okay? So you'll come here and send him, good, okay, walk around. Then you'll try from here, okay? I know. There you go. Good. Now relax. There you go. Good. And praise. Let's try going down to 24. Yeah, it's because he was stressed from earlier. There you go. Better. Now, you're at what number now? 24. Let's go down to 18. Because I can see the contraction now. It's a big contraction. So he was probably getting stressed because it was too much, like it finally made contact. So that's why we adjusted it. And I can see there was a pretty big contraction. So then I go down a little bit lower. Okay? Good. 3 more. Tap, tap, tap. There he goes. Good. Praise. Attaboy. Good. 2 more. Good. Better. Attaboy. And do one more. There you go. Good, much better. Good, so we'll pause. We're gonna let him rest there for a minute, okay? So, now it's getting a little bit easier. One, we adjust our number, but also he's had a few reps of it, okay? So, what we're doing here is we're teaching Starfox how to go to the bed. So there's 2 points to this. There's go here, and then the second part is, now don't move from there, okay? So first thing you always want to do is make the dog comfortable with going to the area, so that when you say, I say place, so you say go to your bed, you know, so say we'll fix his spot, I don't care. Just once we see this being consistent, then we're going to put the word on it, okay? Do you have a phrase that you want to use? Place? Okay. So we're going to do a couple more just to get them more consistent with the sense. So now, you know, you're changing the direction. Now you're going to change direction and go a little bit further, about like, you know, 4 to 5 feet, so that you're descending. But you want to try to keep still as much as possible, okay? So it'll be like this as you tap. Get Starfox to go. If he gets stuck, you can take a step, but you're moving very slowly to help him. Okay? I don't want to walk him there, because if you do that, then you always have to walk him there. Okay? And I want him to be able to just go there on the word itself. Okay? Questions? Alrighty.
So we're not assigning any verbal.
Not yet, but we're going to, yeah.
Is this good?
Yep. Tap. Yep. Forward, tap. There it is. And you're at 18 now?
Yep.
Try 12. Right? Good job. That's correct.
I didn't tap yet.
Yeah, so it's because he's already assuming, yeah. So wait. Now. Tap. Tap. There he goes. Good.
Okay.
Good. Want to do 3 more? Good. Wait a moment. Right, wait. Yep. Bring him back. Because you didn't tap, right? Yeah. So then you're going to wait. Good. Now. Tap. 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 Let's try 15. Tap. 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 18. Tap. Tap. There it is. A little bit more pressure. Tap. There he goes. Good. Tap. There you go. There you go. And praise. Good. 2 more. Yep. There you go. Good. Tap. Right. You're fine. Yep. And yep. Forward. There you go. And relax. Good. And praise. We'll do 1 more.
Okay.
Good. There we go. That was a good one. Yep. So on that one, right when you tap, teach a shot there, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see consistently. Like he's still learning. So that's pretty good. So now we're going to go in and add in the word place. Everything's going to stay the same, except you're going to say place first, then the tap, and then the pull. Okay? And we'll keep it at the same distance. Let's go, we'll try going down to 16. Good. Yep. Wait a moment. Good. There you go. There you go. Right there. That's fine.
Okay.
Good. And 2 more. Good. Good boy. And 1 more.
Place.
Good. And praise. Very good. So, now we're just getting familiar with the word. Okay. So, this exercise at home, when you practice it, 2 times a day, 2 to 3 minutes. Real short, because it's so redundant, right? So then the dogs get stressed. So, I keep it shorter. Once you start to see Starfox go, and it's like you say place, it just goes there, then I don't practice it, I just go to application. Okay? Within a couple of days, he should already kind of get the concept. The reason why we want to start sending from different areas is because if you always send one way, he'll get used to that, and then one day you try to do it right here, and he doesn't know what to do. Because dogs are very much about habit. If you always practice one particular way, if you try to change it, they don't know what to do. Okay? So that's why I like doing this from the beginning. So he learns that there's lots of ways of going to this area. Do you have any questions so far?
So is the idea like to assign like a towel, like maybe like practice it at home and he identifies the towel as the place, and then you can bring that.
You can do that. Like, so you can use like a towel that's the same all the time. It makes it easy. Or you can have like maybe in the living room you have a dog bed, and then you have a towel that you use when you travel. Maybe in the bedroom he has like a mat or something. So like if you're in the bedroom and you said place, he would go to the mat. If you're in the living room and you said place, he goes to the bed. And if you're like at a friend's house with a towel and you said place, he goes to the towel. He'll learn to differentiate what place is according to the environment. Okay, so like let's say he came to my facility and I said place because we have a bunch of these, he'd probably recognize this object and just go to it. Okay, so you can do one or multiple. If you had more than one place in a room, then you have to be more specific, right? You have to be like place and like point him there or this place for him to recognize what you can go to. When you assign a new object as a place, you have to go back to this to familiarize with him with it. You know, you can't just like go home, like if you went home right now and dropped the towel down some place, he's not gonna know what to do. It'd be on the leash, so you can lead him exactly, lead him. And once he does a few of them, he goes, oh, okay, like this is like at the park with Jesse, okay? And you can change it. It doesn't have to be the same thing. Or people use different words for different things. It doesn't matter. It just comes down to what you're doing. Okay? Other questions? What we're going to try here is we're going to go back to saying the word place again. But once you send Starfox, what I'm going to have you start doing is walking around him. Okay? So you're going to send Starfox. He goes. You're going to start walking. We're not going to say stay. You should stay put. Okay? If Starfox tries to sneak off, you're going to use the leash to direct him back on and tap, but you're going to stop moving. Okay? Once Starfox goes on, then you can continue moving again. Okay? So let's just start teaching him that you have nothing to do with this, because you might want to follow your lead and stuff. So you just keep it, and you don't repeat the word, you just tap him and use the leash to guide him back on. Okay? know you guys got soundtrack music.
Place.
There you go. Now wait a moment. Let him settle. Now walk around. Yeah, keep walking. Try one more circle. This is okay because he's still on the bed. Good. Going to come in and praise Starfox. Good boy. And then you'll release him.
Okay.
Good. We're going to try that 4 more times. Okay. And a boy. Yep. There you go.
Starfox.
He's thinking place. All right. Wait a moment. Yep. There you go. Wait a moment. Yep.
Barked over my
Right, because that's all frustration.
Yeah.
Because he's anticipating that you're going to send him, right? So I just wait it out. And here, if you say place and he goes, you don't need to tap. Okay. So the only command where I tap always is the come command. Because since he's going to be off leash and I confuse him, like I don't want that, right? So here, with the sends, if I say place and he starts going, I don't tap. So then he starts to learn like, oh, if I move fast enough, I can actually avoid it. And that'll help with the frustration as well, okay? But this is also why I don't like practicing things longer than 2 to 3 minutes. We do it here because I have to train you, but we build frustration because the dog's like, place, break, place, break, right? And it gets annoying, so then you start to see stuff like that, okay? Going to release. Oh, I'm sorry, do the walk around. Good. Try walking the other way. Good. Do you want to come in and praise him?
Good job.
Good. And release.
Okay.
Good. 3 more. The boy. So just pull him in here. Just pull. Don't tap. There you go. Wait a moment. Wait a moment. Yep. Wait. Yep. And the other thing is, when you do the send, because we're getting this anticipation, I would vary the time we wait. You know, so like right now we're waiting longer than we did before, just so he doesn't always think that it's, you know, okay, place, okay, place, okay, place, right? Because it's a rhythm. So he catches onto that rhythm and he starts to anticipate. So then if you do longer waits, he starts to go like, oh, it's not going to be, you know, consistent. That there's going to be longer periods and I have to wait till I hear that word.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead.
Place.
Attaboy. Good. That's okay, because he's there, right? So he can stand, he can watch you, that's all fine. Good. Then back to his side.
Okay.
Do 2 more. Right.
Place.
Good. Better. Good. 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 Very good. And praise. Attaboy. Good. You want to swap handlers? Good. So I'm going to have you start with just a couple of the ascent with a tap, no word. Okay. You'll start about here. That's good. And then just a tap with the leash pressure. Do that about 3 times. So he gets, he translates that to you, and then we'll start to edit the workout. Okay.
So first tap and then.
What number is that?
16.
Let's go to 8.
Okay.
Yep, I know. Just go ahead and just pull them back to you. Good, wait a moment. Yep. Let's try 6. So when I see really big responses like that, I'm trying to go down lower, so it's not so dramatic. Okay, like I like the speed, but it's a little too much for him, and that's also why he's getting frustrated. Okay? Good, that was better. That's much better. Good. So now on these, you'll start saying the word place. You'll keep it at the same distance and just kind of move around, and then we'll make it a little bit further, okay? If he goes, right here, we'll ignore that for now so he doesn't get too frustrated, okay? So just use your leash, you'll bring him back, then wait a moment. If he goes, you just bring him back, wait a moment to let him settle down, okay? Good boy. Attaboy, 4 more. Good, good. Then relax. There you go. Yep. Good. Good. Attaboy. Good. And praise. So now you'll start, you'll do a few more, but you're going to do this a little bit further away. Okay, so you're going to try to keep the distance back. You're going to Starfox to go the rest, okay?
Okay.
Just little steps if you need to help along.
Okay. Okay, so go. Please.
Good. That was a good one.
Okay.
Attaboy. There you go. Good. Good move. That was good. 2 more.
Please.
Good. 1 more.
Please.
Very good. It took you down. Very good. So now we'll move to the place, and then you'll start to walk around. So how you do is you'll do place, you'll walk around, you'll come back, you'll praise Starfox, and then walk back and walk around again. But he should stay there. Okay, so now we're adding a little bit of distraction.
Okay, so
Right, good job. Right.
please.
Good. 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 This is okay. Good. Praise again. Attaboy. And okay.
Okay.
Good. We're going to do that 4 more times.
Please.
Tap. Good. And then tap. Right. There you go. Then walk around. Good. Going to come back to the side. You're going to praise him. And step away, but he doesn't move. Good boy. Going to walk around again. Tap. Tap. There you go. Good. Good. Back to his side. Praise. Good. And okay. 3 more. Good. Good. And 1 more. Okay. Good. Good. All right, we'll give him a break here. Okay. So, pretty simple, just sending him and stuff. Now, for place, he can be on place as long as you want him for. Okay. There's a couple ways of going about this. I like to do this with my clients if they're like, let's say you're gonna watch TV for a bit. Just take whatever you're gonna use, set it down next to you, and then place him, and then have the leash on. So if, like after 30 minutes, if he gets bored, he tries to move, he can't go anywhere, you just tap him, he goes back on, you go back to watching TV again. Okay? So you start with it being easy. Some people try to jump ahead and they'll have the bed over there and they'll be across the room, and then the dog gets off, they gotta walk all the way across the room, put the dog back, then they go back and the dog gets off, they gotta walk all the way back. So in the beginning, I say make it easy. If you're gonna watch TV, watch a movie, working from home, working on your computer or something like that, have him hit the bed next to you, and then you can place him, just have the leash, you can even step on the leash to make it easier, and then when you feel him trying to sneak off, you just tap him, we don't say place again, okay? He should correct himself, and then we go back to what we're doing. Maybe 45 minutes goes by, he tries to sneak off again, correct him, he goes back on again, okay? So, in order for Starfox to learn to go here and not move, he has to make mistakes. So on one of them, when you were walking around, he tried to step off. And you didn't say anything, you just tapped him and he went back on again. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. So if you say place and Starfox get off and you say place again, you reset the command. Okay, it's a new command. But if you say place and he gets off and you correct him, no words, he goes, oh, I go here and I don't get off. Okay? A lot of people repeat. They go place, and then 10 minutes later, place, and then 10 minutes later, place. Like, Jesse, I got to tell my dog place, 20 times. I'm like, are you repeating? And they go, yes. I'm like, that's why. Because you're not teaching the dog, go here and don't get off. Okay? So that little change and not repeating stuff makes a big difference. I always go to remote to correcting, so then he goes, okay, once mom or dad says place, I'm here for 2 hours, I don't move. Okay? So we always start with Starfox next to us. In the beginning, like let's say you're gonna get up to like get a drink of water or something. Before you get up, you would say Starfox, okay. Then get up and he can get up with you. You go do your thing, get your water, whatever, come back, and if you want, Starfox place. Okay? Because if you get up and then say okay, what do you think is gonna happen? Close. What's he gonna recognize?
Oh, like we're getting ready to heel and talk, or
the standing up, right?
Yeah, standing up is like releasing.
Correct. He's gonna assume every time you stand up, you say okay. So then he's gonna start seeing that, right? So I before I get up, before I do anything, okay, Starfox, you're free. Then I get up to do my thing and come back and reposition him if needed. Okay. So we prevent that problem from happening because he will pick up on it. I do this for a week. So, and you can do as long as you want right away. Like you can go home right now and do 2 hours, but expect he's gonna make mistakes, okay? But that's why I start with the dog next to us to make it easier. If you practice this every day, and then by week 2, then it can be Starfox is next to you, and then you get up but you don't release him. And if he makes a mistake and tries to follow you, you correct him, but at least you've done a week of correcting him that it's easy. And then I can go to the kitchen and come back and he's still there. So now I'm teaching him, hey, sometimes I'm gonna move and you're not gonna follow me, okay? I do that for a week. Then the next week I do Starfox in place a little bit away from me, like maybe 4 or 5 feet, still with the leash on. And then maybe that's really good, then I go to Starfox across the room from me with the leash on, and I get up and move, I clean, do all these things, and he's there for like a couple hours. And then once you get to that point, then it's like, now we try without the leash. So it's a progression, okay? I don't go to the next step if we've not practiced the original stuff, the foundation, because then it's gonna be a pain in the butt, because then you gotta walk, back and forth across the house or whatever to fix it. Okay, so we start close and then we work our way up. Everybody's application of this is different. Like some people, like the dog is always gonna be next to them, so then that's all they need to practice. But some people go like, no, like I'm gonna have the dog across the room when I have guests come over, so I need the dog to not move from over there. And I go, then you have to practice up until that point. If you know you would like to take Starfox with you to like a restaurant, you got to account for it. You're going to be there for a while. There's going to be other people, possibly other dogs. There's going to be food, right? There's a lot of distractions. Is to kind of compensate for that. Like let's say lunch is like an hour, hour and a half. In the home, I want to practice 2 to 2.5 hours. So I make it harder in the home because there's not much going on, right? So it's normal day-to-day life. Is I make it harder through length of time. So that when I get to the restaurant, it's still going to be a little bit harder, but he's already done longer, so it's technically easier. So you can kind of compensate that difficulty with length of time. It should be much easier for him because of all the foundation that you do within the home. So that when you go there, if he tries to get up and walk away and you tap him, he's like, oh, okay, this is like just like inside the home. Okay. Questions? Something that we do, like some people, like at my facility, we have columns, and we have a bed by each column. Is we have a tether or a leash tether, so we can clip the dogs on the place, but they can get off, but they can't move very far. So that this way, like we are able to skip steps because since the dog's tethered, if I go across the facility to train another dog, and I see the dog like Starfox, if I place them trying to sneak off, I can be 40 feet away and tap him with the collar, and he'll correct and go back on. So like in the home, if you have like maybe a couch that's really heavy or something, you can do that, same thing, to kind of speed things along a bit. But then if you're at a distance, if you see him getting too confused, like he's just all over the place, then you have to go over and lead him, and then practice more of that. Like he's not able to connect those dots, okay? And then I try that for another week, and then maybe I try the tether again to see if he'll do it. Once he gets familiar with it, it should be very easy. Like you'll see him try to sneak off, and you'll tap him, and he'll go back like that, okay? That's why the number is also important, because if you're too high on the number, it's gonna make him run off of the mat. And you're trying to find a balance of sending him there, he's moving pretty quickly, but then if he makes a mistake that you don't tap him and he tries to run away. Okay? Questions? Just trying to think here. Anything else you did with this? Oh, if you tell Starfox to go to place, we didn't teach down, but like, I don't say down or sit on the place. It's just place. Because if you tell Starfox to sit, then technically he has to sit the entire time. Does that make sense? Yeah. So people will forget. They'll like tell the dog go to place, and they'll lay down, and the dog lays down, and then like 10 minutes later the dog's standing up. And I'll tell them you have to correct that. They're like, oh, but the dog's on place. Well, no. Dog's on place, but you sit down. So now it's a down command. Okay? So just be mindful of that. So place, super simple. Go here. I don't care if you sit, stand, lay down, chew on a bone, chew on a toy, whatever. It can even be like I had someone had a really big area rug, and they're like, can that be placed? I'm like, yeah, but it's really big place, so your dog can even walk around. But as long as they don't step off of the area, then it's fine. Okay? When you do length of time, there's no such thing as too much because it's not repetitive. Like with this, I said 2 to 3 minutes because he was getting frustrated and all that stuff. But if you send Starfox to place for an hour, and then maybe you give him a break, and then later in the day you do 30 minutes, and then you give him a break, and then later in the day you did 2 hours, that's fine. Because he's just going there and staying put. And the only thing that you're doing is if he tries to sneak off, you're correcting him to go back on again. Okay? I do recommend practicing this at least, once a day, whether it's 15 minutes or an hour or whatever. Definitely if you want to have a more functioning, longer term place, you have to practice that on somewhat of a regular basis. Not every day, but at least a couple times a week where it's like Starfox is in place for 2 hours or something. So that this way it's applicable outside. A lot of people, because this is so easy, a lot of people ignore this. They learn it, but they don't do it. And then, go by a couple of months, they're like, oh, I'm gonna take my dog with me to the restaurant, we're gonna do place, but they've not practiced it. And then it's a pain in the butt, and they can't order, they can't enjoy their meal. So you do this first in the home. Once this is solid, then you can start incorporating it outside. Okay? Anything else?
I haven't had a chance to watch the door knocking video you sent.
Sure.
Because our guest kind of got pushed forward. But
sure.
Is something like we could kind of incorporate with like...
Yes and no. So the thing with the front door is that, I'm assuming like he barks and stuff, right? Is he's being territorial and he's saying, hey, there's somebody here. That's a separate conversation than place. Because so most trainers will tell you, if the guest knocks, send your dog to place. If your dog is in place, they can't like jump on your guest or like bite your guest, right? Because they can't move, which is technically true. But if the dog really wants to do something, they're gonna blow this off and then they're gonna go either jump or whatever it is they want to do, okay? That's why I do the door exercise. The door exercise shuts down the territorial behavior or the excited behavior, and you're telling them, look, we know someone's here, but you need to relax and calm down. So it's a different conversation. So we have physical control, and then we have mental control, okay? Physical control is go to place, and maybe Starfox is on place, and your guest comes in, and he's barking at the guest from place, but he's on place, right? So then it's like, well, what do I do about the barking? So that's why that's what the door exercise does. Yeah, the door exercise addresses this. It calms him down, and then after he's calmed down, if you decided place, then you would send, because now you already addressed this. So then once he's here, you have the balance of both, okay? That's the difference between obedience and behavior. So like, dog reactivity, like lunging and barking, typically we teach the heel first, like how to walk in a leash. And that will fix the problem, not because of the heel, but because of the discipline, okay? But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the dog still lunges and barks. I go, okay, this didn't work, so now we're gonna correct the behavior itself. So the dog understands that that is not allowed, okay? So that's when, like for instance, when he nipped at me, I think I was like tap, 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 and then he was throwing a fit, and I was like tap, 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 until he finally calmed down. And then afterwards he was fine, because we took the time to address the behavior. But I didn't say sit, I didn't say down, I didn't say no, I didn't say off, I didn't say heel. We just corrected him for the behavior. So then he said, okay, whenever I throw a tantrum, this happens, and when I relax, it goes away. So I'm not gonna throw a tantrum with Jesse. Like, that's how that stuff works, okay? So whenever Starfox does something, you wanna think to yourself, is this behavioral obedience, right? So like if he's barking out the window, a lot of people call their dog, Starfox come. And then they go, good dog. And then the dog goes, all right, and they go back and they bark out the window. They're like, Jesse, my dog is barking out the window. And I call them and they go back to barking out the window. I said, yes, because when you called them, your dog came. That's what come is. But nothing said, don't bark out the window. Does that make sense? So whenever you see something like behaviorally, you want to think, is this obedience, or is this something I can do with obedience, or is this something that just needs to be corrected for itself? Okay? Other questions?
So like even like whenever he sees someone who likes and coming in and jumping all over the place, you just sometimes that's the issue.
Correct. So with behavior, we have control, and then we have eliminating. Controlling and eliminating, right? So like, let's say they're jumping on people. I would eliminate that. I don't want him jumping on people at all unless he's invited. If I say, okay, Starfox, jump, that's fine, because I said, okay. But like if he jumps, like let's say everybody's fine with it, but then you have someone who's not fine with it. Or maybe, you come home from work and you're like dressed nice, but you had an interview or something like that, and he's jumping on you. He doesn't know that your clothes are nice. He's just thinking, every time I see you, I can jump on you and there's no problem, right? So that's why I just eliminate the behavior and I can invite the dog whenever I want. But if Starfox is jumping on me and I say off and then I correct him, technically he can do it until I say off, okay? So when you say off, you're cueing or controlling the behavior. So then you always have to do that. And I want to just come home and know that Starfox is not going to jump on me. Does that make sense? So like let's say, barking at the front door, maybe you like it, it's security, most people do. But so you don't want to eliminate it, but you want to control it. That's why we do the door exercise. So you still get the barking, but you can shut it off, okay? But let's say someone says, I don't want the dog to bark at the door, period. Then I go, okay, then we don't do the door exercise, we just correct it. And then until the dog learns, I don't bark at the door. Does that make sense? Yeah, so whenever he does something, like let's say you don't care if he's chasing squirrels, but you want to control it, then you would say like, no, when you see him look at a squirrel, because you decide, right now you're not allowed to chase a squirrel. But then later on, he looks at a squirrel and he runs and you don't say anything, because at that moment you don't care. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when it comes to behavior, just think, do I want to control this or do I want to eliminate it? If you want to eliminate it, you just consequence, no words. If you want to control it, you need a word prior to the consequence so that he has like a warning. You know, so if you say no, then he goes, okay, after I've heard this word, it means I can no longer do this anymore. Okay? Anything else?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, most people say stuff, you know, like leave it, right? Like leave it. Every time the puppy is going for food, I just teach the puppy, don't pick up stuff off the ground. Because puppies will eat anything, cigarette butts, glass, rocks, sticks, leaves, right? And then they end up having to go into the vet. So I just, anytime I see the puppy or dog pick up something off the ground without permission, I just correct it. Then I don't have to worry about it. I don't care if it's a chicken wing or a piece of bread that's on me. Like I walk past food all the time and my dog's just like walking right past it because they've been taught you don't pick up stuff off the ground. Okay? So for your Zoom lessons, you can schedule them whenever you like, whenever you're ready. There's no rush. You know, we can do the one for the door exercise, and then you can save the other one for like any just random questions you might have or anything like that. And then you always have my technical support, by the way. Even after training, if something comes up and you have a question, just shoot me an email. I'll get back to you. I've had people 3 years after training send me a question and I get back to them. So I'm always around. Okay? Anything else?
So should we schedule the Zooms through Maria?
Yeah, that'll be Maria. She handles all that stuff. Whenever you're ready, there's no rush. They don't expire.
Got
Sure.
a couple strangers coming in the home, so
Sure. Yeah.
see how it goes.
And then, you know, you're still welcome to come out to the walks and stuff. We're gonna keep, yesterday, did you go? Yeah. Yesterday I was booked from 8 to 8. So then I was like, I need a little rest. So that's why I sent Brianna. So if I end up having a really long day, it'll be one of my employees, but we'll still have them as long as the weather's nice, as long as you keep coming. So you're welcome to those. And then of course you still have that. Are you guys on the Facebook thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you socialize with Elsa and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and all that stuff is there for you to utilize so you can continue working with Starfox.
Actually, on that, I have a question. So, the second time I said Starbucks walk, like, they were totally fine. And we let them, like, with their muzzles on to play a little bit, like, off leash.
Yep.
And they were like, okay. And last week, like, Tuesday, after we were training, they came and then I think we did it, like, too early. We went to, like, a fenced area. And we just, like, after, like, a quick walk, maybe 5 minutes, and then just off leash. Also, growl a little bit. So we just continued, like, walking, like,
Sure.
leash. Is that normal?
Yeah, that's why it takes time. And I tell everybody, because people think once it's good, that it's always good. That's not how it works. Okay? Just like with people, you know. But dogs are a bit more, they're more black and white about things, you know. So it's normal. You just continue, like you said, you know, that you growl a little bit, we just continue walking. And then maybe try again. And maybe she looks a little tense, then you don't do anything. You know, so then the next time you just, you know, you keep trying. And then eventually, you know, they open up and the chances are far less, but technically the chances never disappear. Okay? It's like, you know, we get in arguments, right? You know, I got in arguments with my brothers and my sister growing up. I've been in arguments with my mom and stuff like that, but we're humans and we don't bite each other. You know, dogs is different. So that's always like a factor. But then I look at what was she growling at, you know, what happened. So like maybe he was sniffing her butt while she was like near a rock, and maybe she was resource guarding. So then you're trying to decipher like why was there a growl? Maybe she just had a long day because she had just, I think, finished the training with us or whatever. Maybe she was a little bit stressed. But you know, it could be a lot of reasons. But you just keep going. You know, I don't pay it any mind. And that's only one time out of what, 3 so far that you've done? Yeah. And then maybe you do 20 more and there's no problem. You know.
And at what point do I know if it's okay if they're ready to get leash?
I look for like when the dogs look comfortable. Like let's say you see Starfox and he sees Elsa and he's like this, like he's excited. Now you know he's kind of like, that's my friend. And vice versa. Like Elsa sees Starfox and she's excited, right? Now you want to be careful because excitement can also turn into reactivity or because it's too much. Okay, so that's why when dogs play, I don't let it get too far. Okay, so like at my facility, when the dogs socialize, we don't let it get too much so that we can prevent dog fights from happening. Because a lot of times it's just too much play and somebody does something too hard, bites too hard, or it's too rough, and then it triggers a dog fight. Okay.
And then like while they're playing or socializing, you were fine, but then it just looks really kind of goes to the situation. You just like have them and then how do you correct that?
You would use, so the good thing about the muzzles is if something happens, you can take your time to stop the fight with those people. Okay? Stop the fight, and they might run to you, right? Like also run to Kate and then Starfox to you. I take them, put them right next to each other again. Okay? Because I want them to learn that one, fighting isn't allowed, and that they're gonna have to coexist again. And I leave them there for like, you know, the rest of the time, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is gonna be. So that the next time they see each other, they remember like, okay, we got in a little fight, we got corrected, but then we were with each other. People tend to separate and then stop. So the next time the dogs see each other, they want to fight again.
He has like a friend and sometimes like he's playful and nice, really happy, but he whips at her.
Yeah.
They kind of like pisses off the other dog.
Sure.
And he just doesn't stop. He's
Sure.
just like playful and keeps sniffing at her.
Yep.
Can we keep like collar for that?
You can correct out the collar, but you'd have to start low and then work your way up. I would suggest if he's got his muzzle on, because I don't want him to misinterpret it and then redirect the correction to the other dog. Okay? So if he plays with the dog with the muzzle on, and you can recognize, because it'll look like he's punching the dog. Okay, because he can't bite, he's gonna go like that, and you would tap with the collar and see what he does. And he might move back, and then they'll play around a bit, right? And then you'll see him again, and you correct that, and he moves back, and then they run around and chase each other. Then 30 minutes later, he tries again, you correct that, so he's learning, oh, every time I go to bite the other dog, even if it's playful, it's being corrected. But I let them continue what they're doing. Because if you correct them too harsh, or if you say like, Starfox come, he's not learning to not do that behavior. He has to do it. There has to be a correction as he's doing it, or just after, and you'll see him pull away a bit, but then you should see him re-engage again. And that's him processing, like, why did that happen? But I don't want him to stop playing, I just want him to not go to that point. And if you recognize, like Starfox, like his energy goes to a certain point where you're like, oh, now he's gonna start nipping, you would tap there. So now he goes from a 7 to like a 4. You bring down that energy, because it's overstimulation. It's like he's just too excited, and he's releasing it through nipping and biting. Okay, so when you cap him and you bring him lower, he's not getting to that level where he's needing to direct that energy. Does that make sense? And then gradually you should see him start to wean off that behavior. But he may need to have the collar on in those instances just to kind of keep him in a calmer state, because he knows like you're not going to let him escalate. Okay. Anything else? Well, good job, guys. We'll be in touch. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for the Zoom or whenever you schedule it. If you have any questions about that video, you can send me an email as well. And then I'm sure I'll see you at one of the walks or something.
Yeah.
Okay? Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.